forth. So they're at this place now where they're defining their own path and their journey. And I'm so excited that I was able to be there in those conversations that we had on Thanksgiving Day. And I wrap it up with the one thing that I mentioned to them, which I think is just in general form, that we're all looking for that peace, but that peace comes within, but then within it has to be driven by something that's bigger than us. And what I mean by that is, one of the things I told them is that you're going to get to a place where you have to understand that it's not about your will, but it's about what it is that God wants you to do and where you're going to maximize. Because when you get there, it's going to seem as though things are going to make better sense and there's going to be a total alignment. Now, mind you, it's easier said than done. Now, the relationship with God, what I was telling them is that relationship isn't hard in the sense of how to establish that. You know, the word says to meditate on his word day and night, meditate on his goodness, meditate on him. But what it comes down to really in its most simplest terms and just focusing on him. I know we always say that, you know, God is the center of my universe, and you know, I love God with all my might and my power. But to actually exercise it is one thing. The action, the intentionality behind it, that's what really matters. And that's what I was trying to convey to them. And I pray that this falls on ears that need to hear this, because this is something I'm chasing now. So, you know, this confusion or this state that they're in right now, I can relate to it because that was me, even up to a few months ago, right? You know, even though I was saying the age gap, I go through those valleys of questioning so many different things. Just in full transparency, I just turned 36 in July, and I was stuck in the comparison mode of comparing my 36-year-old life to other, you know, people who are in my range, my peers, and so on and so forth, and almost not even wanting to admit that I was 36 because I was looking at all the things that my lack of accomplishments more so, and thinking that, man, I should have been here by this time. But then the only thing I could really think of, well, Pat, you've done a lot and you have blessed a lot of people. And by whose barometer are you're comparing it to? Like, who says you haven't been successful? You know, if you're comparing to what is in your bank account, things that are fleeting, things that really don't matter, right? At the end of the day, because if I were to pass away tomorrow, those things don't matter, right? I can't sit back and say, man, no, bury me with my, you know, all the cash I had on hand, whatever the case is, because those things don't travel with you. So by whose barometer can I say that I haven't been successful? So what I wanted to say, you know, for this thought, and like I said, this is just me wanting to get this on wax because I was having a beautiful conversation with them, and I was honored to be in a position where I could, you know, say those different things. Going back to just that center of everything and really honoring God for all that He is, and in giving Him your first in everything. You know, we talk about giving God, you know, the tenth, you know, His tithe, like no matter what funds comes to your household, make sure you always give that back to God. But what about your time? You know, that first thing you do in the morning time, you know, right? I'm guilty of it too, where as soon as I wake up, I open my eyes. What am I doing? I'm going to social media, right? I'm logging into IG. I'm logging into all these different distractions that really don't really, you know, determine the outcome of my day, right? But my first should be, you know, that quick 5-10 minutes of just honoring God, seeking His word, seeking His wisdom, you know, allowing His words to pour into me, and letting that be the beacon of how I'm navigating life and understanding what it is that God has for me, and so on and so forth. Let that be the thing that you know, navigates my course, that drives my course. So